Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to Big Sam Golf. I hope you're all having a great Friday afternoon. After seeing the video I got on Wednesday where I went down to Andy Madley, quite a few of you got in the comments, in my DMs, asking me what kind of equipment I actually use. So, here it is, the Wizard Sticks, and it's time for a what's in the bag. In my bag, I can have anywhere between 15 and 17 clubs at any one time. Obviously, I've only been able to take 14 out in tournaments. However, I'm very picky and choosy. So this has been the main setup for the most of my year. I've played driver, 4-wood, 7-wood, 4 wedge, and 3 specialised wedges. Now I am contracted to 10 clubs with Shrixon Cleveland. This means that I play 4 pitching wedge in the Shrixon ZX7s, which I'll get out and show you in a little second. Now these have been absolute beauties for me this year. I found that the switch from Wilson wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be because these are really soft. Now I play these in a Project X 6.5 rifle. I'll put a couple of little close-ups in down the bottom, and I've just gone back to testing out again the old style Tour Velvets, just for that little bit more feel in the winter. I found that with the cord it felt a little bit too hard and I wasn't getting as much recept as I'd like. So that's my irons. In my wedges in the Shrixon, obviously these are the Cleveland RTX Zip Core. I play these in 48, 54, 60. Just fits my gap in. I've recommended this a lot to the members this year at Thankyou. As the pitching wedges are starting to get stronger, I find that the gap at the bottom end of the bag does start to get very big. So again, the 48 degree for me works as that little 3/4 knockdown shot for around about 105, 110 yards, going down to the 54 around 70, and then I like to play my lob wedge finicky, anything around the 50 yards. I will go full out if I have to, but I try not to. Now, I play these in a slightly softer shaft. So the 6.5 rifle in my irons, I did try in the wedges, however I just couldn't get used to them. I found that they weren't spinning enough, I wasn't swinging it fast enough, and that's when I had to change. So I've dropped down to the rifle 6.0 shaft, so that's just the stiffs, and I find that I get so much more spin, so much more control, and they've been an absolute godsend this year. As you'll see in a couple of videos coming up next week, they got me out of trouble. Now, drop into the 7-wood. This is the Titleist TSI 7-wood. I have this with the Even Flow 6.0 65 gram shaft, and I have this tipped 2 inches. So if you've watched Gary's channel, you'll actually see that I talk a lot about different shafts, different feels, what works for you. So I swing it fast enough to get the X, however, I can't get the control I need. So if I use the lighter shaft in the stiff, tip it a couple of inches at the top, I then get the feel of an X with the weight of a stiff, and that is what works for me. Again, I have the similar thing in the Fairway wood, but this is the old trusty. With my Jumeirah Golf Estates covers, these guys always support me when I'm out in Dubai, and I have to support them everywhere I go. I have the Callaway XR16 4-wood. Now, for me, if I go a little bit shorter in loft, I feel like I start to use the control, and I kind of lose myself in what a 3-wood should actually be for. In my opinion, my 3-wood is my fairway finder. I don't need to hit it as far as my driver, don't need to be getting it out there. If I can get something out there at 230, 240 with the fairway wood, that is where I want to be, and I'm quite happy with that. I have this in the Oban Kiyoshi Purple. Now, this is in the 04 Flex, so again, just stiff, tipped 2 inches, so it stiffens the shaft down for me, puts it somewhere close to the X-plane bracket, and it's just what works for me, guys. Last but not least, I'm going to trick you into the big stick. Now, I would normally have the 9-degree head in the Ping G425. However, I put the face through in Dubai, and this is the only head I could get while I was out there. So this is a 10.5 Ping G425 max head with a Diamana Flower Band red Tour X shaft. Now, I only switched into this shaft the back end of the year from the Hazardous Hulk green. Just found that the swing rate was a little bit better, found that I could get a little bit more out of it, and actually I was playing more of a draw than I was the fade, which is what I quite like to see. So that's going to be something new and something I move into very soon, but I may have to change my fairway wood as well. So stay tuned for that, guys. I will put up the build process if we do. Now, these are the 2 putters that I've had in the bag all year. I'm going to have to show you both because one's in and one's out, and one's out and one's in. I'm worse than Gaz, unfortunately. So I have on my left the Odyssey 7. This is in the OG Stroke Lab. And I have the Spider Tour Dustin Johnson version on the right. Again, supported by 2 thumbs, so I'm always using their grips. I do flick and choose between. Both in 34 inches, and well, they do get me out of the caca. So, last but not least, guys, I'm going to chuck you in with what balls and Bushnell I'm using. Balls and the Z-Star Diamond. Gloves, the Strix and Cabretta. Again, these guys are absolutely superb with the support they've given me over the last 18 months, and I can't wait for the next 18 months with you guys. Bushnell XE, correct. See, we're getting tired now. Bushnell XE, these are, again, I think about £500 on online. I can't recommend it enough. I think, for me, if I'm travelling to a tournament and I don't know the golf course and I need to know how far the slope will play, in a practice round, these are great because it just gives you that little bit of an inkling as, all right, okay, that's going to be playing 10 yards uphill if we're off this bunker here. It's going to be 15 yards uphill off the bunker behind us. And it just provides me with that extra bit of information where I feel like I can score better and push on as far as I can. But that's it for me, guys. You can see what I play. We may have a couple of new bits going in the bag the start of next year when I get to test the new Strix and irons. But I am really happy where I am now, and the golf is only going to get better. We'll be in Florida in 2 weeks, and there's some big challenges coming. Guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already clicked the subscribe button, please think about giving it a little click, and there's going to be some more content coming soon. Guys, we'll see you next week.